Good morning. You know, I come from Ghana. You know, we like soccer a lot. And I know you just won a game, your semifinals, and I'm cheering you up to success. Yes. 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 I know Ghana and the U.S. have had 3 encounters at World Cups, and it was great. I also want to congratulate the girls as well. I am still recovering from a terrible experience in Wisconsin. I almost died of cold. You know, I've never seen snow in my life growing up in Ghana, but it was only one time I caught a little glimpse of snow on the television, but I dismissed it as fake. The snow in Wisconsin was not fake, it was real. And the other thing I suffered from was they almost killed me with cheese. Never eating cheese. When I got there, they say you either eat cheese or you die. It's good to be here. You realize yesterday was Super Tuesday, and I want to call today Super Wednesday. And you are my super delegates. And you know why? Super delegates not to win an election, but to join me to change the world through CRS Rice Bowl. So I know that this school has raised so much money for CRS Rice Bowl through the years, and it is not for nothing that I've been sent here. CRS Rice Bowl, this little cardboard box, is almost 45 years old. It has saved millions of lives. And I am one of those who has received so much from this little cardboard box 40 years ago. And what an honor and very rewarding to come back, look you in the face and say, thank you. My message is just a simple message of thanksgiving and gratitude for this tiny little cardboard box. It's kind of very hard to put together. It took me 3 years struggling to learn how to put this thing together. Yeah. But just from a little story about me, I grew up in a small, tiny little village in Ghana, not knowing what it means to have electricity, not knowing what it means to have running water. I grew up in a small, tiny little village, unfortunately, without parents. I was orphaned at a very, very early age, just a tiny little boy. Grew up all my life, actually, not knowing what it means to have a parent. And I still miss parents today. Kind of old enough. And I've tried to let it go, but it doesn't seem to go away. I'm the father of 4 children. I still miss parents. And I have a little daughter who makes me even more miserable. Yes. I have a daughter who, she just looks me in the face and she's like, hey, Daddy, where are your parents? I usually try to distract her, and I wouldn't answer the question, but she doesn't give up. She will circle around and comes back and she will say, hey, Daddy, we get to see Mommy's parents. They come here every day. How about you? Where are your parents? Well, I was forced to tell her, painfully, gently. I explained to her they died. She cried a lot, and I cried too. She asked me one final question. She says, Daddy, I'm so sorry, but one more question. Do you have a picture of your parents? Just show me a picture of your parents, and I'll be fine. Unfortunately, I have never seen a picture of my parents, and that really broke me down. It was one of the greatest moments I wished I had a parent. Think about that. Parents love children to death. The prayer of every parent in life is that, God, may my child or children grow up to be better than me. And every parent will die for that. 24/7 will work for that. But you see, it doesn't matter the wishes of a parent for a child and how hard that parent works, unless that child opens up and cooperates with the parents. In vain will those wishes be, and in vain will your hard work be. I know you love your parents to death, but tonight when you get back home, give them a very special hug. Tell them how special they are. Sometimes I wish I can hug a parent. You know, just think about it. When you have parents, sometimes you can take it for granted. I lived all my life without that experience, and it's not fun. When my parents died, we were 4 tiny little boys. We had to survive. It was not fun for us. We were usually very miserable kids, very hungry kids. A lot of the times we were crying for food. A lot of the times we were fighting one another for food. And there were many nights we will go to bed just simply too hungry to sleep. You know, the worst experience in my life is to be hungry at night. Obviously, we all got sick, terribly malnourished. 2 of my little siblings, the very small ones, didn't make it. They also died. My oldest brother just couldn't handle it, so he decided to leave our little village and he ran away. I thought he would come back the following day. He didn't show up. I thought he would come back 2 days. He didn't show up. 40 years down the line, I have never seen him again. I don't know where he is. I don't know if he's even alive. But I stayed there in that village. Catholic Relief Services came there. I was not Christian. I was not Catholic. I didn't know them, but they came there, and the first thing they did, they built a school. But I hated school. Yeah, you can clap your hands. You know why? Because my whole family, nobody has been to school. I didn't know what benefit school had for me. Going to school was not my agenda. But they built a beautiful school. I hated the school, but they tricked me to go there. And the trick was that every morning they provided just a little snack in that village school for any child who came there. And I loved the snack. I loved the snack, but I hated the school. Unfortunately, they decided to tie that little snack to the school, and I was taken hostage. I will go there thinking the teachers will simply look at me and say, well, he's miserable. Give him the snack, just leave him alone. They don't leave you alone. If you wanted that little snack, you were actually sentenced to many, many hours of classes. And so I kept going to just a little village school just for a little snack. And today, I stand in front of you joyfully still alive. And now holding a master's in public administration from Cal State East Bay. And I am back in Ghana now, working for Catholic Relief Services. And guess what I do? I trick children to go to school. You see, I want you to imagine the power of just a little snack in the life of a hungry child. You know, it's not only tricking children, plus that I've been blessed with a wife and 4 children. And my children will never be hungry again. And my children, today I can provide little snacks, and I can provide 3 meals a day. And my children are in school today, whether they like it or not. Because I have come to understand that education is simply liberation. And I just want you to imagine the power of just a little snack in the life of a hungry child. That little snack for me was the greatest gift I ever received in my life. At the right time and in the right place, my life has never been the same. And my little snack came from this little box 40 years ago. When I used to walk 5 miles every day to school and 5 miles back home, and there were moments that I almost gave up, but any time I was tempted to give up and I think of that little snack, it was very hard to give up. A little act of kindness can make such a great difference. It touched my life. You have a beautiful country. Lots of good things. I see clean water everywhere. Touch a little faucet, little sensor, water flows everywhere beautifully. Lots of good food. I've been here only 4 weeks. I have put on 15 pounds. My best food is French fries. Anytime I'm coming here, I get really excited about that. But I'll be going back home soon. A little sad because there will be no more French fries. But I want to say I have been to 49 different states in your country, and I have seen a lot, many schools. I just want to share with you. I was standing in front of 1,600 high school students just like this, the whole school assembly, and after that they had the kindness of inviting me for lunch. And I'm not suggesting anything here. Okay, so it was wonderful to have lunch with 1,600 high school students. Great encounter. Until after lunch, I had a painful experience of watching how much food went to trash. I saw so much food tossed into trash, and that was really painful for me. I took a flashback. And I started to think about myself and 3 little boys fighting every day over just a little bowl of soup every night till they died. And I was wondering, probably if we just had a little bit more food, maybe they could have survived. I could actually have a sibling today. But they died because we simply didn't have enough just to stay alive. Think about that. If you forget everything I'm saying to you today, just one little message. If you are ever tempted to waste so much food, just remember my face. And take a moment to think about those 2 little boys. Just hunger. But I just want to say there are still many hungry children in our world. Surprisingly, there are many hungry children in this country too. Believe me or not, I have been to places in this country where children have to also go to school in order to find lunch. I think God bless you and I today. Every single one of us in this room is so blessed. But blessed so that we can bless one another, especially those who are less fortunate than we are. And Rice Bowl is one of that great way we can bless one another. I just want to say, I don't want anybody to walk away sad, because my story is a story of hope. A story that demonstrates God's mercy and love through human beings. I didn't have parents, but I got that little snack. I didn't have parents. A Catholic priest helped me, sent me to a Catholic high school. Some religious sisters took me and sent me to college. I ended up with a scholarship to do a master's in this country. And when I did it 2 years, I was ready to go home, and I had many friends in this country who said, "Thomas, why are you going back home?" And I had friends at home who were like, "Why are you coming back home?" And I said it was home, plus I don't think God blessed me so much just for keeps. He blessed me so that I can pay it forward, and I think the best way to pay it forward was to go back to that little country. Sometimes the line can be so crooked in your life, but God can still ride very straight on those crooked lines. But God cannot do that without you and me. And Rice Bowl is one of those beautiful ways. If you participate in Rice Bowl this year, 6 weeks of Lent, whatever you sacrifice, remember you'll be putting another big smile on the face of another child somewhere in the world. You might be changing the story of another family, the story of another village. Thank you, and God bless you all.